Two unemployed actors. Two unemployed actors. They're just between projects.
Welcome to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we've got a great show for you today. So make sure you like, subscribe, tell your friends, and all that exciting stuff. Get the admin out of the way. You know, just say, hey, follow these guys. They're amazing. How you doing, Sam? You good?
I'm good. How are you, Max?
Oh, pandemic life is starting to grow on me. I set my alarm 5 different times this morning before I actually got out of bed. I'm like, no, another half hour. No, another half hour. No, I'm just like, oh, come on. Even the dog was confused. Like, what the hell, mate?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think we all know that mood.
So I turned it around though. Anyway, I've got stuff to talk about. First of all, me being a detective again. It's going to happen. It's confirmed. So
is this a new short film?
Yes, I went and followed up because I thought, you know, let's find out a bit more. Like the way he worked and his previous work and everything, I got it. It's okay. And even then, okay, well, I've just
embrace
the police officer inside me. No, because
embrace the role stereotype. No.
Indeed, embrace the stereotype. Anything that gets me a job that pays in the end of the day,
yes.
You know, I don't mind. Yeah, the interrogation just dropped, obviously a few weeks ago, which was the short film I did just before Christmas. And obviously I'm a police officer, police detective. And then I'm thinking to myself, do I want to do it again? I had a chat, bit more detail. It's kind of the tortured hero sort of thing, but he turns up at the house, and it's kind of like this opening sequence of him walking through the house, and he's looking all tortured and what the hell, and there's all that sort of unspoken, serious intensity going on. And what you realise later on, it's his family that died. So he's not a character that goes throughout the short film. It's this whole opening sequencey thing. But there's a sequel. There's a follow-up being written as we speak, which is all about this guy. Yeah, hopefully. Well, it depends how I go, really. At this one day of shooting, we'll see.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
But so that's going to. Well, I mean, it's going to happen. But whenever the world gets back to whatever normal is, I tell him I'm still in that play called Lipstick, and that's my priority. So because I've committed to that first. So when that lands, I'll know when the other dates I can work on this one. And I don't know. Hopefully, it's before Christmas.
Yeah, well, technically, I'm still in Spring Awakening as well, and we had our first, my first Zoom rehearsal kind of thing.
Oh, wow. How does that work?
So, yeah, it's weird, right? Because you kind of have to just walk through the script, and, like, kind of, there's a bit of delay between each line and everything.
Yeah.
But they're still wanting to put it on. It will be delayed, obviously, but they're still wanting to put it on. It was very funny. I was using this mug. You know how in Zoom you can put, like, virtual backgrounds?
You can. Oh,
so
it's a green
I put
mug,
a virtual background on the green, and it was like a green screen mug, and I was like moving it like this. The thing.
Oh my God.
It was quite funny.
That's your key takeout from rehearsals.
Exactly.
Making Zoom more interesting.
No, I have to learn some Latin and some Latin pronunciation and stuff.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, because it's a weird one. It's set in, I think it's a German.
Right.
Play first, and then it's a musical now. But there was Latin and stuff. It's old.
Mm-hmm. A few different languages in there.
I honestly don't know.
No, you have to read the script. Don't just look at it.
I have read it. I got to read.
Did you understand
I got to
it?
read yes, I got to read the play script actually. I got to read the play script because we're doing the musical, but the director wanted us to read the play just so we get more of a context.
That makes sense.
My role is quite like. I can't even explain it really on the podcast since this is a PG podcast.
Really? No, go for it. I can just have a minute of beeps. No.
No. I'll tell you real quick.
Is your character a real asshole or something?
No. Okay, so he has a wank scene on stage.
Right. So he's masturbating himself on stage?
Yes, and ejaculates on
Right. Okay.
Well,
I can see you're still having difficulty with this because you can't get the sentence out without laughing.
Yeah, no, and reaches a climax on like during the climax of the music as well.
Okay. Interesting.
And then he has a gay hookup scene as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a challenge, one I've not done before. But then he also the actor who plays my character Hunshin also usually plays another character within like a kind of like. So the lead character's kind of sent off to kind of make you more mature school or whatever,
just taking a step back, how exactly has the director talked to you about that particular scene where you're performing on
We haven't got to it. I've only done
yourself?
2 rehearsals.
So he hasn't said to you, look, there's nudity involved, or you've just got to have you're fully clothed, but your back's to the audience, or there's been none of that?
She has not. We haven't gotten up to that.
Does that concern you?
No.
In her mind, this might be this vision of you just strutting out on stage fully naked.
Okay. I don't think I'm actually going to be... It's a uni production. Keep in mind, it's a uni production.
Which is why I'm worried, because what do they like at uni? Lots of alcohol and nudity. So
I'm
learning something's a distant third.
If one thing I've picked up over time in myself is that, as you get, not necessarily, but for me at least, I've been acting for a while now, and I've become more comfortable with myself. My confidence is built, especially over the past 2 years and all this stuff. I know that I'm an actor. I know that I can take on a challenge, and I'll do it, and I'm happy to do it, and I'd look forward to doing it, whatever it is. But there's a cool scene where like he's another character, and he kind of like attacks the lead with kind of like a knife, and there's quite a violent scene, and I'm looking forward to that one as well. So it's going to be cool, hopefully.
Wow.
If it actually happens.
From stage fighting with another character to fighting with yourself in an intimate moment. That sounds exciting. Do you have to masturbate to the beat, being a musical, or... Is it part of some elaborate dance scene? I'm sorry, I just can't move past this. I mean, it'd be like the first thing I talk about with the director is like, how are you going to represent? Doesn't matter. It's okay.
God.
I'm not sure if I want to see this play now.
Don't come.
I'm with that guy in the audience going, come on, Sammy, you can do it.
That's
Faster,
disgusting.
mate, faster.
That's so
I gotta go
weird.
home and do my hair. Come on.
Is that you? You ready to be you?
Yep.
Why do you have a higher pitch voice?
Come on, Sammy, hurry up.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying weeks before. How like if it's streamed, it's gonna be like soft porn.
It's quite interesting, especially if the screen freezes at a certain point. Anyway, moving on from...
My scene isn't even the worst. There's like a full sex scene and all this stuff. It's a very intense musical.
It sounds like a Madonna concert from the 90s, but okay.
The one you were at.
I didn't get to go, actually. I had rowing. Isn't that horrible? I had to do rowing training, and I missed out the concert. She's jogging around Albert Park like I'm rowing on the lake. I can't even see her in concert. I was so mad about that.
You fool.
I'm almost over it.
I had an audition yesterday.
What for?
I had it for it was something I applied to on Star Now. I've still been applying on Star Now.
Great.
It says branded film, but it's like I think it's like it's a commercial. I think it's a commercial.
Yeah.
They call it branded film. It's $1,500 if I get it, so that's good.
Good on you.
Well,
that's worth an application. Yeah.
Yeah. So I recorded it by myself because it was only my lines that were needed, plus the super and plus one line from the dad or whatever, but wasn't needed. Sent it off and we'll find out soon.
Awesome. Good luck, break a leg, all that stuff, because there's still opportunities out there. You have to look a bit harder and work a bit harder.
It's my avocado.
Yeah, I can see that. It's quite interesting. It looked like you were practicing for the play, but anyway.
Got a bit cabin fever.
Moving on. I got to hear Kirsty McGregor on Instagram Live with Backstage, which was fantastic. Thanks to Backstage for organising that, because there was a few hundred of us all keen to listen to what it takes to make it in the casting director's room.
So was that through Backstage's Instagram?
Instagram, that's correct. That's correct. And look, it was really interesting. And I think sometimes you can get a lot more information out. Like they're comfortable in their own environment. I know it's not one-on-one because questions are coming through to Backstage. Obviously, they know that Kirsty knows his viewers, but and because it's more industry people, I feel like that you get a bit more information, which is great than what you normally get. And it was really interesting. So, I mean, things I learned, like she's happy to take submissions direct. I mean, by submissions, I mean allowed you can send her your show reel, invitation to a play you're in, all that sort of stuff. She's one of the few, I think, casting directors
Oh,
who's
very
happy to
cool.
take that. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that comes in, and
Yeah,
she's
very cool.
really busy casting nonstop. But it helps you get in front of her. It's another way to get in front of a really successful casting director in Australia.
Yeah. Well, talking about Kirsty McGregor, she'll be viewing this actor competition, which I think I spoke about last week.
All right.
Which Grant wants me to enter and Jess to enter.
She's going to be a judge.
Kirsty McGregor's going to see it. It's like $500 prize money. You get like a camera set. There's a bunch of other stuff. Headshot package, all this stuff.
All
Talk
the
to an
actor stuff
actual
that you need.
agent and all this. Yeah.
I don't think she accepts bribes, so probably not all that. But yeah, good luck in
tried?
the comp.
tried?
That was a question I was going to ask. Just ran out of time. Apart from, she even takes even casts sometimes rarely actors who aren't represented. So
Does she?
Yeah, so obviously she's cast people before who weren't represented. I think sometimes it depends on the brief. Like if they're looking for something really specific with a skill you can't fake, maybe they're going to look for an unknown who's good at that skill and not. Yeah, remember Breathe Breath, pardon me. That movie, the Aussie movie about the surfers and how they actually went and found two great young surfers who hadn't acted before and just workshopped them to death and worked on all the scenes and everything the director being a successful actor helps too. Because it's easier than trying to get professional actors at that young age, and train them up to be able to be professional surfers, which I think is right. I just end up killing myself on the wave. But
I guess what's easier to train up real surfers to act or real actors to surf?
Well, in this particular example, what he wanted to do was get, not like other surfing movies, get up really close to the character in the water
while they're surfing.
You can't fake that. Like you can't CGI that. That's just not in the budget.
No,
it's not a Disney production. It's an indie Aussie film. But anyway, she does take people sometimes unrepresented, and obviously being the go-to casting director for Neighbours in Australia. I think
a lot of big things.
10 years now. I think she's been casting director for Neighbours. So basically, if a character comes up, she'll seek submissions from agents around the country. The fact that you're not in Melbourne isn't a big thing. Sometimes there might be a budgetary constraint and they might have to take only Melbourne, but absolutely send it nationally, and 300 submissions end up on her desk. So obviously assistants have filtered, and of the 300, roughly 30 will make it into the room. And because Neighbours is really fast, they shoot quick, the directors are busy, so the director's not in the room, and you've probably got less than 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. But and sometimes roughly 2 takes. So like a normal guesty audition, I suppose, because they're just pressed for time. So it's really only the cast director there, and then she takes from the 30 her recommendation and presents that recommendation to the producers, who then
very cool.
say brilliant or no. And look, what gets you in the room? I mean, it depends on the brief, doesn't it? Because a good casting director isn't going to go, hey, I remember you paid $500 to come see me talk about how to get cast, so you come in. It's about how am I going to best satisfy the brief and work back from there, as you'd expect.
Yeah. And like you said, depending on the brief, they'll go to agents or not. If they're looking for a very specific look, it's probably easier to filter through agents and casting networks and all that stuff.
Yeah, so she'll get 300 submissions or I mean, could be more submissions, I bet. But her team work through roughly around, say, 300 submissions from agents, and then that ends up with 30 people in the room. And what not to do in the room? Don't turn up and be unprepared. And by that she meant, know your material, know it inside and out. There was one rare case where she really knew this guy had talent, this young kid had talent, could really see him in the role and really wanted him to succeed. I think she said she got up to 16 takes, really nursed him and coached him through that process. That's rare. But generally, turn up, know your material.
He didn't know the material or something, or what?
Yeah, it wasn't all over the script. And didn't have as much experience. So really what that meant was, if you don't have as much experience, well, absolutely prepare, and then prepare some more to make up for that. So you can really own the room when you're there and in character. So be prepared. I mean, she said that's rare. Most of the time, people understand. They're coming in for a Neighbours audition. There's another 30 people. It's Kirsty McGregor. She's in the room. You want to turn up and know your stuff. And most of the time, that's what happens. But but the worst thing you could do is turn up and, be holding your script or not know, the premise of the context of the scene or any of that sort of stuff. So it was really informative. It was really interesting. There was a few hundred of us listening, so it was great. It was good to get a bit of a Q&A. So look, there's still stuff happening online, which is exciting. So it's been an interesting week. I think I'm working on my next edit for the showreel already, and looking forward to getting the taking dropped in. I know some agents, some casting agents are casting directors. I can't even speak today. I don't know why I'm doing a podcast. Some casting directors are looking at casting networks pages and just working through actors. For example, at Archer Management, they said they're going through alphabetically for all our actors, all our talent. Just having a look and just taking some notes. They've got a file on everyone. It's like Big Brother, but film style. And very that cool. way, whoever's in the room, whoever happens to be casting for that particular role, knows, what a bit more information about the person who's walking in, which is good. Yeah. So look, this stuff's still happening. So it's a great reminder to us all to make sure our online profiles are up to date, even if it is just our website or our IMDb or whatever it is, or our casting networks. So make sure it all matches, make sure it's all up to date, make sure it's all the latest stuff, because people are out there looking at it.
Like, the industry is working underneath, I think more so than people think.
Because let's not waste time. They're like, let's go through and look at the pool of talent we've got out there available so we can update and be even faster to fill briefs with lots of prospective talent.
Yeah, they want to cast a lot of stuff now so they can be ready and jump straight into production when it comes out of this.
Yeah, I hope all the briefs get unlocked soon. It'll be great because, I think they're already talking about. It's currently the 22nd of April in Australia, and they're talking about relaxing restrictions this week, which is great. Some restrictions in some states. I know I can go for a swim at the beach now. I just can't sit on the sand. I've got to actually be exercising, so that's okay. So almost feel like I'm human again and normal. So it'll be great when life starts to get back to whatever the new normal looks like. But hopefully that's a sign that we're flattened that bloody curve and we're on our way to getting back into work as actors. And the fact that you and I are doing castings and talking to directors and sort of stuff like now, like, it goes to show, the wheels are turning. Not as fast as any of us would like, but they're turning.
Yeah. 100%.
It's still going, still working. What else is happening in your world? Anything exciting?
Besides this
that expression on your face just said it all.
Yeah, I know. Besides this Malna's audition, there's not much in that area. I don't know, like, chilling at home is really good. Like, I'm working on stuff and exercising, like we've said. Been hanging with the family a lot. We've been playing a lot of games, and we played Spotlight the other night.
Okay.
Which is, for those of you who don't know, it's like generally played outside, but we played it in the house. We turned all the lights off. Someone has to stand in one spot, close their eyes, count to 20, and then use a torch to find everyone. Oh my God. It was a lot of fun.
That's great. So
wouldn't
take long to play that in my apartment. Wouldn't take long at all. But that's
play
awesome.
With Fred.
I can play with Fred, but he always finds me. There's nowhere to hide, right? But I think it's amazing how everyone's turning back to all these old board games and all these old games and stuff. There's only so much bandwidth one can inhale in a day. All the Netflix content and everything, as great as it is, fresh stuff dropping all the time. Oh my gosh. What am I watching at the moment? The Innocence Project stuff. It's a series. It's not called Innocence Project stuff. I can't remember the title is what I'm trying to say. The Innocence Project, maybe. It could be that simple. But all these poor people who are committed to jail. One was 20 years before he got out, before they recognised that he actually was innocent. Okay. And they got the wrong person.
I'm watching
heartbreaking.
The Originals, which is a spin-off from the Vampire Diaries.
Oh, okay.
Classic. It's a classic.
Where's that available?
It's very cool. Netflix? That's Netflix.
Okay.
It's very... So, it's one of those, like, show chick flicks, but so good and hooks you so well that it's good. It's so
One
bad
that's
it's
easy
good.
to switch off to, basically. You can park your brain cells and just enjoy what happens.
Yeah, and I'm into all that mystical stuff, so it's about vampires and all that stuff. But I'm into that.
I thought you were looking a bit
stuff.
pale.
Yes.
Wearing a pale shirt with a pale background.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. So
Sorry.
it was funny though. Vampire Diaries, right, which had 8 seasons. 8 seasons?
Yeah.
I think 8 seasons. So Netflix got rid of it a couple years ago or whatever, or a year ago. I don't know when it was.
Okay.
Got rid of it because of contractual agreements and cost too much to keep it on. And there was this huge uproar, so they put it back.
I love how Netflix do that. It's like when they bought Lucifer and resurrected that for a couple more seasons.
Yeah, it's very cool. Well, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who let go of Brooklyn Nine-Nine? NBC has it now, but someone let go of it.
You've been listening to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we'll see you next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.
Two unemployed actors.